All right, guys, welcome to Dropping Dimes, brought to you by Four Corner Sports. I'm your host, Flavio Oriana. My co-host over here, Javier.
What's up?
All right, guys. So we just finished having. Yesterday was Game One of the NBA Finals between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat, and wow, it's not the type of results we expected. We had some injuries in the game. Lakers dominated, but yeah. So let's get to this already. LeBron entering his 10th NBA Finals, and I believe only Kareem and Bill Russell are the only two to have more finals appearances than LeBron James. So that's kind of remarkable right there. Him adding on to his illustrious career, and Anthony Davis making the finals for the very first time in his I think 7 or 8 years that he's been in the league. They're going against this pesky, scrappy Miami Heat team led by Jimmy Butler, but just seems like Miami in Game One were going against the Goliath, and they were David, because they had no shot on stopping Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis just looked like a monster. He looked too big for them, too agile, able to do whatever he wanted to do against anybody from the Miami Heat roster. And I don't know, Hav. I mean, what do you expect from the Miami Heat moving on forward and for the rest of the series?
All right, so Miami's kind of fucked, honestly,
Yeah.
because Bam Adebayo and Dragic are questionable for Game 2, which means they probably won't make it, which sucks. So they won't be at full strength. Without the Heat need their whole team, man. The Heat definitely need their whole team. If not, if they don't have their whole team, then they're done for, dude. There's no there's no bouncing back from this. Honestly, I said it before, 4-1. This might look like a 4-0 now. I'm sorry. Yeah, 4-0.
Oh, sweep, yeah.
This might be a complete fucking sweep, bro.
Now, I might agree with you, especially with these injuries. I mean, the fact that Dragic and Adebayo may not be able to play in Game 2, that kind of just guarantees a victory for the Lakers. Because the Lakers were just, hitting on all cylinders with Anthony Davis, LeBron James. And LeBron James almost had a triple-double. Contavious Caldwell Pope was knocking down three-point shots. Kyle Kuzma, was playing
I
well.
don't know about KCP. He was 3 for 10, bro. That I don't know
No,
exactly count that as knocking down shot.
well,
Kuzma
he was
was
not.
1 for 7, bro. Don't even bring those guys up.
All right, well, KCP in that first quarter, I don't know what happened to Tyler Hero. I know they were playing zone, but they were not able to close out on KCP in the first quarter. So, all right, I probably should have reiterated what I said. KCP was knocking down his shots in the first quarter, but he was taking advantage of Miami's zone. And I think Miami needs to stop playing zone because it's not going to work against the Lakers.
No, that's I they don't I don't think anything they're gonna do is gonna work against the Lakers, especially right now.
No, I'm just saying it might improve their chances. I'm not saying that they're going to be able to win the series, but I'm saying it might improve their chances to stop playing zone. LeBron and Rajon Rondo, they have two of the highest basketball IQs. They can get through any type of zone, and they were able to get use the zone against the Bucks, able to use the zone against the Celtics. It's not going to work against the Lakers. I mean, you're not going to trick LeBron. I mean, LeBron has been seeing so many different schemes in his 17 years in the league. It's going to be hard to trick him at this point.
Well, I think this is a wrap deal, honestly. Especially if they lose this. If the next game they don't have Bam and Dragic, it's over, bro. There's no coming back.
Yeah,
You're gonna go
I know.
down 2-0. Your best bet is to steal one game, and I don't even think it's gonna happen. Lakers are gonna have all the momentum. Even if they come back from injury, are they gonna be 100%? This is done, bro.
I agree with you. I originally had picked them in 5 games,
Pick who in
but
5 games?
the Lakers.
Oh,
Yeah, no. I was not picking the Heat in 5. You're crazy. Um, I just feel like the way that the Heat's roster was constructed, they were constructed to beat teams like Milwaukee, Indiana, Toronto, or Boston. They were constructed to beat those type of teams. I don't think in their wildest dreams, I know they're never gonna admit it, but I don't think in their wildest dreams they expected to make the finals this year. Because this is doesn't play in any favor them facing the Lakers. It actually works more in favor for the Lakers. I think if they were to face the Nuggets, if the Nuggets would have created, another miracle, going back up, winning a series, being down 3-1, I think it would have been a much closer and competitive matchup. But with the Lakers, you got players like LeBron, Rondo, Kuzma, AD. I mean, it's not going to work against these guys. These guys are too highly skilled.
So, I mean, with that being said, who do you got winning next game?
I got the Lakers winning the next 3 games. I think it's going to be a sweep. But the better question should be, who do you think is going to be the finals MVP?
Well, it's tied between LeBron and Anthony Davis.
Because it's realistically going to come down to those two. Can't be any of the other remaining people on that roster. I don't know. I just feel like the media...
Assuming it's a 4-0 sweep, whoever had that one off night isn't getting it. It's going to be that close.
I just feel like...
I hope they don't get no, co-MVP.
That's weird.
Yeah, I've always thought those, coexisting trophies, it's like, wow, how do you do it? You move the trophy?
Yeah. That's true. Honestly, I just feel like the media's going to vote LeBron in, so he could win his 4th NBA Finals MVP. I just see something like that happening. I mean, LeBron almost did have a triple-double, even though Anthony Davis did lead the whole entire team with scoring. But, yeah, I just see LeBron winning his 4th.
Well, it's only
NBA
one
Finals.
game, so we'll see the next game, and we'll see how, because honestly, the Lakers got this. We'll see who did better, LeBron and AD. That's what the whole argument is going to be from here on. Who is better?
Question, and this is more of a side question. Do you feel like the Lakers would have had a little bit more of a competitive matchup against the Celtics as opposed to the Heat? This is just only going by just one game that we saw.
No, man, because I just don't see they're gonna have the same problem, man. Who's gonna guard AD? Who's gonna guard LeBron, man? You cannot tell me Jason Tatum's gonna stop LeBron. There's no way.
No, definitely not. But I just honestly feel like maybe
I think they would have put up a better fight in Game 1 than the Heat did.
Yeah, definitely. I honestly do feel like the Celtics would have knocked down more.
The Heat didn't start off with injuries. They got it throughout the game, but after that first quarter, man, they started collapsing hard. And the injuries were just icing on the cake, man. That's all it was, man.
Yeah, they were up in the first quarter, and then I don't know where they just lost that momentum.
They lost the first quarter still. They didn't even finish with the first quarter. They lost by 3 in the first quarter after being up double digits.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So
they did have a good run in the first quarter, but then it was slowly.
The fourth quarter is the only quarter they led, and by then it was too late.
Yeah. But like these pundits, these analysts were saying earlier on, the only way they feel that, and I feel like too, Miami could win a game is that Miami needs to knock down their shots. They need to knock down their 3-point shots.
Tyler Hero goes for 50 that night.
No, he needs to have more of another.
Him and Jimmy Butler do a LeBron James, Kyrie Irving thing where they both drop 40. That's the only way they're gonna steal a game.
Well, I was gonna say that Tyler Hero will need to create another performance he had Game 4 against the Celtics, dropping 37. Jimmy needs to knock down 30. Bam needs to get as many rebounds as possible away from
none of that is happening.
It's not gonna happen.
So that's we're done with this. The no more ifs, no more buts. Congratulations, Lakers.
Yeah.
Get the Mickey Mouse ring.
Mickey Mouse ring, yeah. So we also had more news in the NBA. Surprisingly, there was a firing of a.
I wouldn't say surprisingly.
You know what? It did catch my attention. I was very surprised to see Doc Rivers let go this year. I would have expected it more next year. Yeah, so the Clippers ended up. The Clippers and Doc Rivers both agreed that it was time to move on. So Doc Rivers parted ways with the Clippers, and what ended up catching my attention, is that got announced today that Doc Rivers ended up signing a 5-year deal with the Philadelphia 76ers.
That was fast. He was unemployed for like 5 minutes, man.
Yeah. But what's crazy is that, so here's what happened. Unemployed for maybe less than 24 hours. Sixers and Sixers ownership and what's it called? Sixers GM Elton Brand. They were both trying to decide on who should be the next Philadelphia 76ers head coach. Sixers management, Sixers ownership wanted Mike D'Antoni. Elton Brand, the GM, didn't want Mike D'Antoni. He wanted Ty Lue. Ownership didn't want Ty Lue. Both came into agreement that they thought that Doc Rivers was the best coaching candidate that was available. So there you go. Doc Rivers is going to be.
Well, I'm glad they didn't get Antoni because that his coaching style would have not fit with that Sixers team, man.
It would have fit with Ben Simmons. It would not have fit with Embiid at all.
So definitely not Embiid. Thank God that's out of the question. And I thought Tyronn Lue would have been a great candidate, but he's still busy at the moment.
But you know what? I think he's going to end up being the next head coach for the LA Clippers. I mean, he's already on that staff right now. You know, why not promote him as being the head coach of the Clippers? He already has championship experience. He was famously known as a coach that coached the Cleveland Cavaliers when they were down 3-1 to the Golden State Warriors. You know, he knows how to manage egos, manage Kyrie, manage LeBron, manage Kevin Love. I mean, he doesn't have much of a big ego.
I don't think there's an ego thing in LA, man.
I think so.
Choke. They just straight up choke, man.
No, I really do think.
Bro, look at Paul George, man.
No.
He shit the bed so fucking hard, dude. No, bro.
They didn't want to be part of
ego.
What are you talking about? There's no ego. These guys didn't want to play in the bubble. These guys honestly felt like they were better than that. It was a whole load management.
A lot of them didn't want to play in the bubble. They weren't the only ones.
No.
They got recognized for it because they were one of the better teams. That's the only reason they got more attention than everybody else.
They were taking regular season games off. They felt like they could just hop on whenever they wanted to. All right.
Listen, the load management shit, I'll agree with you, is complete bullshit.
And that ended up biting them in the ass. All right. There's a lot of egos there. They
There's
all feel
no ego. Taking time off is an ego thing? How?
How? All right. For one, a lot of these guys, what's it called? You got people like Lou Williams going to Magic City, you know, trying to get lap dances there, and saying that he's going to buy chicken. He said it
himself. He even showed you that he even shared the pictures, bro. Like, it wasn't that serious. People completely took it out of context.
All right, you have
and it wasn't even his main objective. He was going on the way, and he just happened to pass by her. So he said, "Why not? Let me get some fucking wings, bro."
So much for lemon pepper Lou. Talk about lap dance Lou over there. You had that situation. You had what's it called, Paul George.
Wait. And how does going to strip club? How is that an ego thing?
They were in the bubble. All right. Right there, the whole reason of the bubble was to make sure that nobody contracted the virus.
Right, and it worked.
And the bubble situation worked.
Still working, actually. We can't say a word. It's not done yet, but it's working.
It's working. You're right, but he made a selfish decision right over there. And then ever since he ended up rejoining the team after the bubble, he has not looked the same. All right, he looked like he didn't want to be there. He looked very lackluster. All right, the energy wasn't the same. What's it called? You have people grilling, Paul George after saying, we'll come back. He wasn't the person that should have been.
Well, yeah. Look at the situation here. That's what you call wrong timing. You just choked the lead, a 3-1 lead. You played like shit the whole series, along with Kawhi, who shit the bed in the fourth quarter. And then you're going to go up to a whole group of men disappointed and angry, and you're going to tell him, yo, let's talk about commitment and shit. Of course he's going to get eyes rolled. I would have rolled my eyes at him, too, if I was there.
That's what I'm saying. Egos.
That's not an ego thing. That's common sense. Why would you? That's like, okay, that's like me beating you like 20-0 in fucking basketball, and then I just go over and put my arm around your shoulder. I'd be like, yo, bro, it's all right, man. We can run, next time you'll probably be better than me. And you don't want to hear that shit, bro. You can tell me to fuck off.
Yeah, nah.
Losing's not fun.
Losing is not fun, but if they were all committed on wanting to make this thing work in the bubble, because the majority of that roster, they don't even want to be there. All right, they only had 12 games together, playing
Bro,
as a
a
whole
lot
unit.
of them didn't want to be there. You keep saying them like it was only them, but it was more.
They even voted. They
Some
were one
people
of
look at the Lakers. Avery Bradley, where is he, bro? And let me guess, his ego held him back from going into the bubble. Come on,
no,
man.
no. It's what's it called? The central immune system for his kid or something like that. He was looking out more for his child's health being as opposed to joining the bubble, and he wanted to be there for his child. It has nothing to do with ego, right? That's something a little bit more understandable.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like you
But
don't know
then,
these guys' personal stories. First of all, you don't know why.
and they were one of two teams that didn't want to even participate after the whole incident where the league ended up shutting down for a couple days. So yeah, the whole ego situation
It's not an
between the
ego
Clippers,
thing, bro. I'm telling you 100%. It's not. I
it's an
don't.
ego it's an ego thing.
There was no.
They
They had no Marcus Smart incidents at all. Kawhi is the most humble guy you'll ever see, bro. You never hear
and
anything about him, dude.
and
Paul George.
his lack
What?
of leadership is also one of the reasons why they couldn't get together. He's not a rah type of guy. He's the type of
Well,
guy that just
we know he's not a rah-rah type of guy. That's obvious. No one pointed him out as that. As far as being the leader, maybe he should have stepped up and said something. Yeah, because it's more. We all look at it as more as Kawhi's team, not Kawhi and Paul George's team. But I don't understand where you're coming with the whole ego thing. But they were off. You saw it in their gameplay because they shit the bed. I just don't agree with the whole ego thing.
All right, we could agree to disagree. I'm still gonna feel like their egos also got in the way of this thing. Lack of leadership definitely was a big factor in this thing too. The
Lack
whole
of hitting shots was the main factor.
no,
Choke. That's it. Choke, bro. They choked.
they did choke, but you're only looking at it from that aspect. I'm looking at the whole general picture. Of ever since this whole bubble thing,
You're
they
up
have.
3 game, bro. 3-1, bro.
I
You had to win
understand.
one game before Denver beat you to it.
I understand that. I'm looking at the whole
They
aspect.
were up 2 games. They had the lead by double digits, and they
I know.
still managed to choke. And it's not the first time, dude. They did it
I
in
know.
the regular season as well. No one batted an eye because it was a regular season game.
Of course,
Not to
yeah.
mention, Doc Rivers has been in that situation before, and
He
he's
has
also
the most.
choked the lead.
Yeah, he has the most 3-1
I'm not
blown
saying
leads
it's
as a
fully
coach.
on Doc Rivers, but
It's
his
not.
players shit the bed, dude. When they had to show up, they all disappeared, dude.
Yeah, his players did shit the bed. But I'm talking about it from a whole bubble perspective. Since they ever entered the bubble, that they haven't looked the same at all.
A lot of teams haven't looked the same at all. So what about the Bucks, man? They were really disappointing in the bubble.
They were really
Was it their
disappointing in
ego too? Like this is what I'm talking about, bro.
No. It wasn't their ego. All right, it wasn't their ego whatsoever because they never had any type of friction or lack of continuity with one another. The
And
only
the Clippers did win. At the
They had
end, when everyone was fucking mad about losing.
all right, so they never were able to get all their players together. You can't control death, all right. The fact that Montrezl Harrell's grandmother passed away, all right, you can't really control that. He ended up missing a number of games. I think he didn't even play a single regular season game in the bubble. You had the incident with Lou Williams right over here.
Lou Williams was an isolated incident. It wasn't even a team incident. And I'm pretty sure if it came down to taking his word, they would take his word, dude. If your teammate really told you, I didn't go there for fucking dead-assed out to buy food, you wouldn't believe him, bro? If you don't, then you're the one that has problems.
He's going to Magic City. Yes, you could go there for the food.
He didn't go directly to it. You act like he went to the bubble, straight towards there, and then went back to the bubble. He didn't. He had a whole family incident that he had to take care of.
It really wasn't even his family. He ended up lying about that. It was a friend's grandfather that ended up passing away. He made it seem like as if it was his.
But how do you know how close they were or they weren't, bro? You don't know this.
I understand that, but he said it was his grandfather that passed.
Yeah,
Turns
well,
out,
how you think you're gonna excuse if you say it's someone else's grandfather, bro? They're not gonna understand.
just saying. So that's how I feel about it. That I know they shit the bed. I know they ended up becoming choke artists in the last 3 games of that series between the Nuggets. And uh, I don't know what's gonna happen with the Clippers moving on forward. They might have Ty Lue as their new head coach. That's what I imagine. That's my predictions. Can't see them having Sam Cassell as their head coach because I haven't heard any chirping about him being a head coach on any level. And right now, to me, in my opinion, the Clippers seem fucked because they ended up giving up a whole ransom for Paul George. They sacrificed this year's offseason, what's it called, 2022? No, 2023, 2025. I think up until 2027, they ended up sacrificing. They gave a ridiculous amount of draft picks, which I feel like it's not going to end up helping them on later on in the future. Because what happens if Kawhi Leonard and Paul George both agree saying they don't want to play for the Clippers after the next season?
Then just get everything back. Just trade them off.
They can't because what's it called? This year coming up is their final year of their contract.
So then they got one more run, and that's honestly it. That is what it is.
I mean, they can't really sign any free agents. They gotta try to re-sign Marcus Morris. They have to try to re-sign Montrezl Harrell, and Montrezl Harrell's gonna want a lot of money because he's a free agent right now, and also he has a little bit of leverage since he ended up winning Sixth Man of the Year. But at this point, I don't know how much leverage these Clippers really do have after blowing a 3-1 lead.
They'll be back in the playoffs. I don't think they'll win it next year. There's a lot of you got Golden State coming back, and Brooklyn has KD back.
The Nets,
so
yep.
This was their best chance to win it. They choked.
And now it's gonna even look worse when the Lakers end up winning what is it, their 17th title in their franchise history, when the Clippers had the golden moment of winning it this year. They're not going to be able
They
to
had a
win the
golden
title.
moment to compete for it this year because we still wouldn't know how that 7-game series would have played out between them.
You're right.
But
You're right about that.
there's always those if scenarios, so that's one of those things, and that's it.
Yeah.
You gotta move on from it now.
Question: where do you see the Sixers and Doc Rivers finishing next year?
Probably around the same that they did this year.
I got them a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. I don't see them.
I think their problem was Ben Simmons being injured really hurt him.
It really did hurt them. It really did hurt.
And B was saying that he was doing everything he had. He could. I don't know how I feel about that, but he was definitely trying. And Tobias Harris gave him nothing. Al Horford gave him nothing.
Nothing. They ended up robbing the Sixers.
The whole bench was nothing, man. They need to get some shooters on that team.
They really did miss J.J. Redick. A shooter like him. The absence of Jimmy Butler really does hurt. I don't know who they're going to be able to get. I don't know who's going to want to absorb Al Horford's contract or Tobias Harris.
I don't think they're moving, honestly. I can't see it. The contract's massive, bro. He's getting older. He's not producing the way he was. I wouldn't want him.
That was such a bad contract by Elton Brand to signing Al Horford. That's going to really bite him in the ass because that's really holding his hands tied up.
At least with Tobias Harris, you have a shot of him improving. But
yeah, the good thing about
Al Horford, it's what you get what you see, man. That's what it's come to with him.
Yeah, you're right about that. The only good thing about Tobias Harris now is that he actually did play really well when he was coached by Doc Rivers when he was a member of the Clippers a couple years ago. He was dropping down points. He was actually shooting a high field goal percentage. So I could see that he might have a better year next year as opposed to this past year that just happened. But yeah, I got the Sixers as a top 4 seed in the East, with the Nets finishing up 1. I got the Bucks 2.
I don't know
3.
The whole seeding thing because I want to see all these offseason moves before I make any kind of seeding predictions. But as far as the Sixers go, I think they'll be better than they were this year, and I don't think they'll disappoint in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I'm just
It
going off.
can't get worse, bro.
It
It
can't get
actually
worse.
can. You can. You won't make the playoffs, but that's highly doubtful.
They got swept this year.
But
So
here's I think they'll be better in the playoffs this year.
yeah,
Regular season, we know they're gonna do their thing, but come playoff time, they can't have a repeat.
they really can't.
And if they have another repeat, they're gonna have to seriously blow up that roster because that shouldn't be happening.
I mean, who would you trade, Simmons or Embiid?
Well,
If
that
your
depends
option,
on the year. Right
no, I
now, I
know.
wouldn't trade either. But that's what I said. If they get swept again next year, we'll look at the stat lines and stuff and see who's really at fault.
Hmm. Yeah, you're right about that. With the Clippers not having a head coach, would you rather have Ty Lue there, or would you have some of these other coaches like Alvin Gentry, Mark
I would take it
Jackson?
Ty Lue in there, man. He's already on the team. He knows the players. He knows the organization. Just do it, man. Because honestly, you got this year to play around with because we don't know what's gonna happen the next years. So you got one year to play around with.
You're right about that.
But yeah, speaking of breaking news, look what Kyrie said. He said, "I felt like I was the best option on every team I played for down the stretch. This is the first time in my career where I can be like that motherfucker can make that shot too." Now he's talking about KD. Now, yes, KD can also make that shot. He's not wrong about that. But
He's
as
a good
far as
shooter.
him saying this is the first time in his career, bro, I don't know. He must have forgot he played with LeBron or something.
To me, there's no way he forgets that he played with LeBron. Now, LeBron is nowhere near the shooter that Kyrie is, and he's nowhere near the shooter that Kevin Durant is. But wow, what if this has to be the ultimate amount of shade that he's throwing towards LeBron?
Now,
I'm
to clear up, he did tweet out later that he doesn't want people pinning him brother to brother. He said if he would have called someone out, he would have said their name. So he's basically saying that I didn't call LeBron out.
yeah, I
I
mean,
kind of disagree. I feel it's more like damage control to me.
yeah, I
But
agree with you, Huff.
now, I'm not
It
saying
just
Kyrie didn't help LeBron either. But I
he
don't.
definitely
Kyrie
did
would have
help.
never been in those situations if it wasn't for LeBron.
You're 100% correct about that. There's no way that he ever gets a ring without LeBron's help. I mean, is it possible that he might get a ring with KD? Yeah, it's very possible because these two guys know how to shoot. KD, in my opinion, he's top two. I think he's the second best player in the world, right behind LeBron James. I'm gonna give LeBron James that credit over KD. But yeah, Kyrie, I don't know what he's smoking. I mean, we're talking about the same guy that said that the world is flat, and he really does believe that. So when he says outlandish things like this, I'm really not that surprised. I mean, this guy has no filter, and he'll say whatever's on his mind.
Yeah, but that's a little ridiculous, bro. Like you have LeBron, bro,
Hmm.
and people's opinions could be the greatest or top two greatest player of all time.
Hmm.
Like, there's no way you say that with a straight face and not think about LeBron, bro.
Immediately,
Yeah,
go on.
I think he's just in his own. See, I think he's in his own ego.
Well, I mean, he definitely has an ego right there.
Yeah, and
He
it's
definitely,
inflated like hell right now.
yeah,
It's a freaking air balloon right now, bro.
he definitely has an ego, and that's a fact right there.
And not to mention what he said about the coach too. This was all from his and Katie's podcast where they said, "Oh, I don't really see us having a head coach." He said, "I could be the head coach someday. Katie could be the coach someday." Who's the guy again? Flavio? I forgot how to say his name.
Oh, Jock Vaughn.
Yeah, Jock Vaughn could be the head coach one day. He said it's a collaborative effort. So fuck you, Steve Nash, because you just take a back seat, bro. These guys got it.
Yeah, I don't know what he's smoking. I don't know what it is that he's on, but
It's that weed in New York, bro. That's what he's on right now, bro. Holy shit.
he's smoking weed, listening to too much Pop
Maybe
Smoke.
he's doing some DMT with Joe Rogan, bro. Who the hell knows? That's fucking nuts, bro. I don't know how you can say shit like that, bro. Like with a straight face too. That's the best part about this.
And he really does believe what he says. He really believes what he says.
There's some troll shit I would see in like KD's burner account or something.
Yeah. But you know what? I firmly believe that that he believes everything that comes out of his mouth. That there's nothing what's it called that he says that's wrong. That's what I'm really believing that this is what he believes.
Well, he's wrong here. He's wrong here, bro. 100% he's wrong here.
100%.
But you know what? Good luck to them this season. I hope KD's Achilles doesn't hold him back from being could be in the best player in the league right now. Well, behind LeBron right now.
You know what? I'll say this about KD's injury right now. This pandemic has to be like the best thing for KD, right? The best thing for KD because of the fact that he had his injury last year, June of 2019. We are already in October 2020, October 1st, 2020. The season's not going to start realistically, in January? So we're talking about maybe
the commissioner said more. He didn't even give a definite answer. He just said probably next year. So he doesn't even know.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if
So
it's
he
going
has
to be in January.
all the time in the world to recover, get it back in shape, whatever he has to do.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I really do believe the Nets are going to finish up in first place in the East. Because we're talking about maybe an 18-month absence.
Well,
since we last
if
seen
this
Kevin
was
Durant.
any other regular injury, I would agree. But this is an Achilles, bro. A lot of history is not exactly on KD's side, man. Now, the thing that KD has over,
He's a
couple
shooter.
of people that got this, yeah, he can shoot, bro. He doesn't have to rely on driving in and, he doesn't have to rely on getting to the basket, contact, and all of that. He can shoot.
Yeah,
he can create his own shot, and he can shoot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. You're right.
And he's 7 feet tall, so
good luck trying to block that. Because his style is not like a Russell Westbrook or LeBron James.
That's why I'm confident that he can bounce back from this. But
definitely.
knock on
Me
wood,
too.
bro.
Yeah, knock on wood. I 100% agree with you on that. I feel like this guy's going to be able to bounce back. The longer that it takes for the 2020-2021 season to start, the better it's going to be for the Nets, and it's going to be better for KD too. Because honestly, I think that when he comes back, in my opinion, this guy's going to be a monster, and he's going to take it out on anybody. So look out for the Nets next year, because with the addition of Steve Nash as being the head coach and Kyrie and KD being healthy, Nets look scary in my opinion. And that's that we don't even know the final roster.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good offseason, so we'll see. We'll keep track of that once the finals are all over and stuff.
Yeah, but predictions before we close this thing out. Score for tomorrow's Game 2 matchup between the Heat and Lakers. I got 122 to maybe like 107 Lakers.
I'm gonna give Miami like 94 to like 108.
Oh, so you're gonna give it closer? Okay.
I'm gonna give it a little closer, just because I think the Heat are tough, man. They got that little fire, bro, but they're not gonna win.
Yeah, only reason I'm giving Miami, Miami that little of a score and the Lakers that big of a difference is if Bam doesn't play, AD's I won't be surprised if AD drops like 45 and LeBron gets like a triple double. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. And Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero are not gonna be able to carry the Heat if Dragic and Bam are not playing.
Yeah, so that wraps that up.
All right, guys. So that concludes our episode with Dropping Dimes. I'm your host, Flavo Rihanna. Co-host over here, Javier Rodriguez. All right, guys, and that's that. Make sure to tune in tomorrow's Game 2 matchup between the Heat and Lakers. And, make sure to tune into our channel. Like and subscribe our channel. Really helps out the channel a lot. All right, guys. We'll talk to you guys later.
Peace
Peace.
out.